Hello and welcome back to TechnoPoverty. I'm Henry.
And I'm Jacob.
And as always, we're going to be playing some video games today while talking about some books. We're going to use one as an excuse to explore the other, bounce ideas off of the chat, and let's just have some fun, see what we figure out. Tonight we're going to be playing The Legend of Zelda, which I have an NES cart somewhere in El Paso, maybe. But I still have the original one on this Game & Watch here. Jacob, if you want to play a little pocket version.
I'm very excited. Oh, there's even one little save point for me.
Yeah, there's actually two little links in there you can't really see, but they have the game completed. This is a favorite of mine. We're gonna talk about a lot of Zelda tonight, but the book we're associating it with is J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. Both are compact, kind of coming-of-age things. Well, we'll get into it as we play the game, but I think there's some valuable ideas to consider in cross-comparing Link and Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo Baggins undergoes quite a growth of character throughout The Hobbit. Link doesn't quite ever grow up. We'll talk about this as we're playing the game in greater depth, but remember that phrase as we go through tonight. Link doesn't grow up, not just in this Zelda, but throughout the franchise. There's going to be a lot of discussion about the concept of choice and what maturity is and what like growing up in adulthood is and like what the reason for all these quests are. We're going to be talking about Hundreds of Beavers as well. We watched this Easter weekend on 4/20 as part of a movie that marathon. We watched Hundreds of Beavers on our Discord along with Freddy Got Fingered and Kneecap.
Yeah, all of them great.
Yeah, just a fun little trilogy of Easter movies. We regularly screen stuff on our Discord that's relevant to what we're talking about in the show. If you want info on that, you can check out our Patreon or our Ko-fi. We have socials all over the place. Just check out our link tree if you wish. But without further ado, let's turn on this iconic music and dive into The Legend of Zelda.
And yes to Hamill's Mammal, I am indeed drinking a brewski.
Oh, one last thing I want to do, huge thank you to all our new followers that are here. We shot up past the 200 mark over the weekend.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I noticed Cinemarxism gave us a shout out, and as always, our friends Wizworld Live and the Pixel Goblins are always talking us up, so thanks to all of them. Guys. I'm going to actually do a shout out to Cinemarxism.
And also to Hamill's Mammal, what kind of cat you got?
Also, welcome, Ann Porkins. Nice to see ya.
Yeah, howdy, Ann.
Gonna give a few shout outs before we start the game proper, and then, well, we'll start the game proper. I have to wait for another shout out. Okay, I'll give the other one as we take a break or something later down the line. But, so, The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System, 1986. Peak of the Reagan era. We'll say more as we get going. Jacob, did you ever play the original Zelda?
No, I have not.
Jacob, what's your familiarity with Zelda?
Man, I honestly, I feel like all through osmosis, honestly.
Sort of like you watched like cousins play it and such?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, who was that video essayist who was talking about Doom? Like, he knew Doom, but he didn't know Doom.
Tim Rogers?
Yeah, Tim Rogers.
Huge fan of Tim Rogers stuff. Well, The Legend of Zelda. Many years ago, Prince of Darkness Ganon stole one of the Triforce with power. Princess Zelda had one of the Triforce with wisdom. She divided into 8 units to hide from Ganon before she was captured. Go find the 8 units, Link, to save her. That's the legend. Chat, let me know how the game volume is compared to our voices.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like it at the time. Yeah, mind-blowing, right? So as you saw with the title scroll there, Jacob, I need to find the 8 pieces of the Triforce to save the Princess Zelda. Apparently Ganon has the Triforce of power, Zelda has the Triforce of wisdom. The Triforce is the glowy triangle.
I like it. We'll turn this down. Turn our audio down just a little bit, or the overall audio.
Yeah, we'll get our voice set to the music here.
Yeah, and how's that?
I'd rather turn us up and keep the sound going. I feel like the games have been a bit too low in the mix.
How are we compared? We try not to yell. I'm also pretty soft.
Are we
so
legible and not peaking, and is the wonderful, wonderful Zelda fanfare legible? Link's Awakening is a great Game Boy game, by the way. So yeah, the game does give you just a brief rundown of what your objective is, and just some items you're going to be collecting throughout your journey. We played Adventure for the Atari 2600 last time, and there's no context or anything, was there, Jacob?
No, absolutely not. And it was so honestly really fun.
Yeah, tell the people at home what that was about.
Man, me as an adventurous knight trying to find my way out through many different dungeons. Well, there was like one dungeon. God, man, dragons. I have never been so upset by dragons. Even like Skyrim's dragons aren't as frustrating as the dragons in Adventure. Like, it was great.
Adventure for the 2600 features you as a square pixel knight trying to retrieve the Holy Grail. And as Jacob's describing, there's dragons, there's assailants, there's a bat.
Everything.
There's no music, but there is like an overworld you roam about.
Yeah, so great.
April by Deep Purple, I did not know that.
Oh, that's great. Also, D. Hamel's Mammal, I love that you have a black cat with a little white bow tie. Give a shout out to Lil Man from Pet Forest.
Alright, so here we are on the overworld, ready to start our journey. Unlike Bilbo Baggins of The Hobbit, there's no home for Link. He's just kind of in the field when we start. I know it's a video game, it's sparse by design. I'm just kind of having fun, I'm not holding that against the game. But just like Adventure, Jacob, top down, except you're a little animated sprite guy this time. You know, there's a bit more character to it.
Yep, definitely can imagine a lot more with it.
Adventure has the bat as well to, you know, give you a hard time and also be a bit memorable. There's just a variety of sprites. So this is, you know, taking what Adventure is doing, you know, on the base skeleton level, but it's able to give it more paint.
Yeah.
It's a stronger console. You can get a bigger map. There's more detail.
And what year did this come out?
1986.
86.
What was the first console you played?
My grandpa's Super Nintendo. We used to play a lot of Duck Hunt. We had a lot of fun in Duck Hunt, honestly. I think every time we went there, I'd always try it. My grandma would always put it away, so every time I came out, I had to put it up, which was a lot. It was great. This giant world. I love the giant map up in the left corner?
Yeah, so you never get like an actual overworld map, but you do get that top corner map that gives you a general sense of where you are in the world.
Yeah.
To give you an idea of what you have to do, it's just find the 8 Triforce pieces. The world's fairly open. The first 5 dungeons, no, the first 3 dungeons you can kind of access without special tools and approach in any order. But there's a lot of non-linear tricks you can do in this game. It's a speedrunner's delight.
Gotcha.
It gives you the element of choice, maybe more so than later Zelda games would, which is why it maybe feels more replayable, for instance, than Zelda 2, which is a bit harder, and I enjoy the way Zelda 2's map unfolds, but it is much more linear than this one.
Oh yeah, it's how you like approach the world.
Yeah, and the way Nintendo games tend to focus on being, you know, puzzle boxes with like mechanical interplay more than like story-driven vehicles, this one is a very early kind of setter of that style.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Metroid really hit its groove until the Super Nintendo era for similar reasons. Or similar reasons to why this is distinct, whereas like people may not know about Adventure. Metroid on the NES, I feel, was on too weak a console. The NES Metroid, contrasted to this, I can't decipher its map. Everything looks too samey. But as you can see, I'm moving through different colors. There's kind of like a hierarchy of strength, and there we go. So instead of just running to the first dungeon, which you can do, what I'm doing is I'm roaming the overworld, being a bit of a psychopathic legendary hero. I'm grinding money. I'm on that hustle.
Got you getting that cheddar.
Link's quest for cash. Yeah, I need rupees.
Man, some kimono meets you rise up getting all that money from all the monsters.
Yeah.
Man. Also, hey Wizworld, and happy belated birthday.
What up, Wizworld?
And good evening, L-Man X. Good to see you as well. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, Wizworld was celebrating their anniversary last show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Which, again, thank you, Wizworld. I'm going to go ahead and do the shout-out right now, actually.
Yeah, thank you for reminding.
Wizworld and Cinemarxism gave us some shout-outs that really boosted the numbers over the past few days.
It's always appreciated. We always send love to people we enjoy.
But now that I have the bomb, we can open up some caves. I brought up in the Maxima run the game Tower of Druaga, which was an arcade game in the 1980s in Japan in which you climb the Tower of Druaga, a 100-story tower. Each level of the tower has a gate and a secret, and it is your job to find the secret on each level and find the exit on each level. And the way it was meant to be played is it's at a bar or an arcade. And as people learn the different secrets, they're supposed to talk at the venue and kind of share and be social. It's the Dark Souls multiplayer system in real life.
Got you, yeah.
Zelda was heavily influenced by Druaga. Every screen has a secret is kind of the ethos. That's not 100% true, but almost every screen has a secret.
Gotcha something.
So I'm just kind of profit maxing through speedrunning right now. But again, you can go into the first dungeon and struggle, or you can roam the land, kind of get your Link all buffed up, and collect the first few heart pieces, upgrade the sword. It's very freeform in its approach.
Gotcha. Now, are the enemies always respawning every single time, sort of thing?
On the overworld, yeah, you don't really clear it out. Like, there's no set death.
Gotcha. Okay, so you could just, if you wanted to just keep hustling.
Right.
You could just be obsessed with it.
And that's very Elden Ring as well, with the way you can just, you're not supposed to fight the tree sentinel in Elden Ring, you're supposed to run from it. And you don't have to beeline to the first dungeon in Zelda, you can explore. Miyamoto, when talking about the design principle of the game, wanted it to be like when he was a kid exploring out in his, his childhood garden and such, and just finding things.
Yeah. I love these little cuties. Everything about the animation is great.
Yeah, so Adventure had the duck dragons and the bat, who became your most hated enemy, sure.
Who puts swords in walls?
The bat does. The bat puts swords in walls.
Do not care for it.
But yeah, so out there in the water, that thing assaulting me is a Zora, which is later what, the fish race of NPCs would be in the more developed, narrative-focused Zeldas.
Oh.
Actually, I did not want to come here right now. Again, secrets everywhere. That shop in particular is good because the meat is cheap and it has the blue ring.
Okay.
This is not what I'm looking for, but I do need bombs, so I will take it. Oh, you know what? I'm overthinking this. The candle, I'm looking to purchase the candle. It lets me set things on fire, and then I can burn down trees and get secrets. I'm overthinking it. There's a shop right at the top that sells it. Yeah.
I need to become Smokey the Bear's mortal enemy in order to find the secrets of the forest.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
So, is Smokey Bear a psyop to get us to protect the secrets of the forest?
I think they'd be trying a lot harder if you were. That or there's just not a lot there to protect.
I mean, it was the 70s when they started doing it, so maybe not.
That's amazing that they haven't really found a good even fake profit incentive for being more eco-friendly about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Love these big oafy boys.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
It's okay, there's a fairy fountain right here. So another staple, a fairy fountain. You know, adventure, you get bit by the dragon, you would just die. In Zelda, you have a life bar. What's going on with the chat? It seems very busy right now.
Yeah, we've had a lot of things. Let's see where we're at. And Porkins, all legendary heroes stalk the wilds indiscriminately, kill wildlife for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I started the stream, I said Link never grows up, but who does grow up is the protagonist of The Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins. If you notice, folks, we're going to talk The Hobbit. I'm pretty sure people know what The Hobbit is, spoiler free. I'm not sure if I'll do a full summary, but you know, Bilbo's journey is he leaves with the elves to help them find the Arkenstone. He's a burglar, according to Gandalf the Grey, who thinks it'd do him some good to get out of the house. Of course, Bilbo learns there's more to life than treasure and gold and historical vendettas because he watches Thorin Oakenshield go on this quest for the Arkenstone and how it corrupts the man with greed and power. Adventure, we were chasing the Holy Grail. Zelda, we're chasing Zelda, the Triforce. For some reason, I'm just the one to do it. But I bring up the idea that Link never grows up because as Zelda games progress, they become less esoteric. As you see, I'm kind of like having to sniff out holes in walls and figure out where the secrets are. This is a very hostile landscape. By the time you get to like A Link to the Past, they're giving you a map with objective markers and highlight points, and these become features of Skyrim, Elder Scrolls games. Most RPGs, you know, you'll get an overworld, and the overworld will have markers and pointers and directors. I mentioned Elden Ring earlier. Elden Ring lets you set your own. But the way in which that sort of conditioned fantasy narrative storytelling and interactive gaming to me is very fascinating.
Yeah.
The sense that Link doesn't really get choices. He's just sort of following guideposts and markers. Zelda's narrative design is very good in its Pavlovian trickery. I just question... This isn't to blame solely Zelda, but the way we internalize active hero narratives in gaming, the way we think a video game is a labor of like Herculean might to destroy or to accomplish. You get weirdos like Musk cheating at them because there's like, I don't know,
social clout.
The social clout, the narrative allure, and I don't know, what's the point of the game if not to enjoy it if you're like productivity maxing it?
Yeah.
More bombs.
Nice, we love the bombs. Also, good point in Porkins. The fairies are a lot less bosomy in this one.
Yes. They didn't have space for that yet.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got.
But throughout the Zelda franchise, I find that objective-based sort of storytelling to be just, again, fascinating in how games direct our attention or make us feel and experience as haptics. Zelda games are epic narratives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the action hero.
Ocarina of Time, how many people have tattoos?
Yeah, true.
With good reason. It is a well-directed piece of early 3D action gaming.
Oh, absolutely. Also, Wizworld, your mom refused to rent this because until you could read because she was tired of reading the screen for you. So you doubled down on practicing. That's incredible.
Nice, yeah. So Link's Awakening was the first Zelda I played, and it very much was a text-heavy, like, oh, I can read.
Oh,
or
interesting. Yeah, like comprehend what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I see what's happening now. That's so funny.
Oh no. So I died.
Twirly dance.
When that happens, you want to continue. You just respawn at the start. It's just like Adventure, except you don't have to hit the physical button on the console.
Nice. Yeah.
For those who are unaware of how Adventure works, the Atari 2600 had a physical reset button you had to hit on the console because the controller only had one button.
It's pretty great.
There are also difficulty switches on the Atari 2600.
Man.
Alright, so we haven't seen any dungeons or dragons. It's been a pretty drab fantasy time. I do apologize, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
I just got some bombs, I just got a candle, we're gonna set some things on fire. We're going to unlock some secrets of the forest. We're gonna get lots of Skrilla.
The secrets.
The tactic really is to check the world and get a lay of the land. This is also why I bring up Hundreds of Beavers. Hundreds of Beavers operates on a very Looney Tunes-esque logic, which features our hero trekking from scene to scene. And these scenes are intercut with an animated overworld to give you a sense of where in the forest each of these events is taking place. There's a moment about 40 minutes into the movie where they do a pretty extended sequence of constant walking around, but after that they drop that intercutting so it doesn't get too obnoxious, and you just know where things are, and you're kind of amazed at how you're able to keep track of things. The filmmaker just has faith in your ability to like read that logic. That's something that makes Hundreds of Beavers very excellent. It is a black and white 2024 live action Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah, made with a lot of love and a lot of care.
Yeah, made by a small independent team, just very handcrafted. But its first 30 minutes are some of like the funniest slapstick bits. And you're wondering if it's going to be able to maintain that tone throughout. And while it doesn't maintain that momentum of constant slapstick, what it does is once you're familiar with all the jokes, you know all the punchlines, you have a vocabulary to run with, a visual vocabulary, like when this character whistles, a woodpecker's going to come. When this character puts shit here and you see flies, the next time we're back, you're going to see this animal here. The way it takes those jokes and those punchlines and turns it into a language, and then evolves from there into a movie that actually uses that language of jokey logic to become a story about a man hunting beavers, trying to just survive the cold. It's very fun. It is the best application of video game logic to cinematic aims, I feel. More so than any movie that's just a straight adaptation of a video game license. And it has a lot to do with, as I said, that faith in the viewer to like understand the logic, to play the game with the viewer.
Man, 3256, how can Link ever get the chance to grow up with student loans looming over his whole life? He'll just keep grinding in the forest where there are no loans.
Right, there's no loans out here.
Yeah, and apparently real life is on Looney Tunes logic too, with the self-driving cars driving through painted tunnels like Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, that was actually really interesting. And more than Max Payne, yes.
I'm just raiding all these homes. I'm a terror and a menace to Moblin society.
Right.
I feel like a bad man right now.
And you're looking for like the best deal too.
Alright, so I got 2 hearts so far. More bombs.
Yeah.
Let's go visit our fairy friend and heal.
What's going on, buddy?
Something I want to know is that for how green and squeaky clean and Nintendo-esque, it is Nintendo. This game's very brown and gray. The original Hyrule is very post-apocalyptic. It's very scary. There is some green in the center of the map, but as we expand, you're gonna see a lot of wastelands, or you see a lot of brown. You're gonna see a lot of grim. It's kind of grimdark. Before the full tone of the game was set by, before the full tone of the franchise was dictated with multiple entries and N64 concept art, etc., that was much more lush and vibrant, there was something a bit sadder to the first 2 Zelda's art direction, and it feels like something that you see in Tolkien as well. in his art and in the books that Jackson doesn't really tap on, and that's that Middle Earth is a post-apocalyptic place. Like, things have faded.
They've gone downhill.
Yeah. The way they excuse away there being very few NPCs and towns and stuff in this game is that this is a post-apocalypse. Like, Ganon has been ruling. Zelda is imprisoned.
Gotcha, yeah. So you're just finding random people in huts.
Right. Like, most of the people around are old. It is the end of the Third Age. This is something Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit used to great effect because of how comfortable the Shire is and how appealing that is as a cozy place. It's very funny to me whenever it's over-romanticized how much people want to live in the Shire. I do not want to live in Middle Earth. Middle Earth is on the verge of collapse. Dark Lords are real and trying to conquer it.
Yeah,
I haven't read the Silmarillion, but there's a whole mess of unanswered history, I'm sure, to be addressed there.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair. Which fantasy lands would you like to live in?
I would want to live in the Pokemon world. That is the only sane answer to that question, I think.
Yeah, no.
I do not want to have to deal with, like, Dr. Doom, like, ruining my day. I don't want Darkseid fucking just collapsing reality when I'm trying to get to work.
God.
I would love to chill with an Alakazam, you know? Yeah.
Chat, what fantasy world would you like to be stuck in?
What about you?
Man. Like, you took Pokemon, that's such a good one.
Right?
Like, yeah.
I want to live anywhere that's, like, always on the verge of, like, a dark evil arising, or, like, just even natural disasters. Like, I mean, shit, dude, this world?
Yeah, no, that sounds like, I'll take that, sounds way better. Man.
Yeah, Wizworld brings up Ganon 1 here. This brings up something I find interesting as well. I don't think Zelda needs the timeline it has. It's so convoluted because they were taking, like, disparate games. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, they can't get away from the sales numbers. To be fair, I do really like Tears of the Kingdom, and I do not like Breath of the Wild at all, but Tears of the Kingdom did kind of restore my faith. Also, I like Tears of the Kingdom. It's my favorite Hyrule game as far as, like, the narrative design and stuff goes. I like it more than Ocarina of Time as far as all the Zeldas where you're in Hyrule and they have roughly the same Link to the Past-ish formula where you fight Ganon. Tears of the Kingdom does it the best. Real haptic. Also, full spoilers, but that Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom depiction of Link and Zelda, I do kind of appreciate. It does allude to something more. When I criticize Link for never growing up, part of it is, like, he's always in a sort of adolescence, or even as a 20-something-year-old, you're always an errand boy. Link doesn't ever really have autonomy, or there's not, like, a lot of interiority in the Zelda franchise regarding this.
Yes, decisions of his own.
But I do feel that the relationship him and Zelda have in the that Tears of the Kingdom continuity, it is a bit more like, it reminds me more of like a shonen, where they're building towards, like, okay, your character's gonna retire one day. Here, we're gonna give him a family and such. I know, like, Twilight Princess posits that basically Ocarina of Time Link had some kind of horrible demise, and a lot of the Zeldas really perpetuate that. So I wonder what Zelda's contribution is to the Sigma male mindset, honestly and earnestly.
Ooh, Alex Jones lawsuit stuff?
Oh, do tell.
Alright, Wizworld saying, I just realized I forgot to say last night with Alex Jones lawsuits. The bankruptcy is a weird limbo. Judges totally fucked up everything. Unclear what's happening, but all the buyers have been declined by the judge and might be going to a simple liquidation.
A simple liquidation.
But of course, man, it was so exciting though when The Onion had it.
Yeah.
What is just a beautiful moment in a sea of terrible, terrible news everywhere. Just blowing up people's doors. The family's disagreeing. I can see that. I can see Jones's lawyers going after the different families and giving them different reasons to fight over stuff.
Speaking of being an errand boy, we're going to retrieve a note from over here. A very important note.
Yeah.
There's an old man in a cave at the edge of the world, and he gives you a piece of paper.
Masterman says, so hopeful to get my hands on a community purchase piece of InfoWars set deck.
Oh
that
man,
would have been cool. Yeah. Oh, if it goes to liquidation, it still can't. Man, it would be kind of fun to have some dumb thing from InfoWars. Like Alex Jones's hair. I want to get that. I want that back.
the mic from the edit of the Alex Jones Goes Super Saiyan vid where he's like, I refuse Barack Hussein Obama.
Ooh, yeah, a used Ozempic signed by Alex Jones.
Wow. My mom will love that.
Incredible, wow, they have so much in common. Patriot grade solvent for dissolving your critical thinking. Yes, thank you, 3256. Dude, this is great. Buy my simple liquidation formula. Patriot grade solvent for dissolving your critical thinking, distilled from 100% unverified rage. Bottled in lead line freedom and blessed by a weeping bald eagle choke on microplastics. Supplies are limited like my credibility. Man. Link below. 4256, beautiful. Did you used to wife for InfoWars? Like, great stuff. Saying you could grift some people real well.
So you can see they drop a stopwatch from time to time, and it just freezes everyone.
Pug-looking dudes or bulldogs.
The Moblins are their canon name.
Okay.
All right.
See what I feel about that.
Chat, I promise we're gonna get to Demon Slaying and Dragon Slaying and busting up some baddies. We are now 5 hearts deep, and we've not touched the first dungeon. That may mean absolutely nothing to you, but there are 8 dungeons. Each dungeon gives you a heart, and then there are 5 extra hearts you can pick up on the overworld, giving you a total of, I think it's 13? Or no, I think it's 18. Once you have 5 hearts and 12 hearts, you get certain things. We're just doing a lot of extra optional stuff before the first dungeon.
I'm getting ready to max the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's the safest way to have fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Wizworld.
Start of the game, grind up. And notice it's not, grinding stats Final Fantasy style. It's just collecting money and finding the best bargains on gear. An interesting reduction of the legendary hero's journey into just transactions and purchases, which, as we've talked about before, video games are hallucinations. They are dreams. They are the machine making you think you're doing work, and some are better at holding up the illusion than others. This is, of course, an NES game, so with time it does seem basic. I do still like the rote pattern of getting to sniff the world in this open sense, though.
Yeah, it's really fun how you can explore it in a bunch of different ways.
Also, I find the world big enough to where like you can commit it to memory in a just enough way to where you just remember enough to where it's fun to look around and be like, oh yeah, I think I do this here, and it sticks back. I think that's one of the reasons this game became so... I mean, it's an excellent example of the game you talk about with your friends. 1986, you don't have the internet, everybody's trying to figure out how they get through Hyrule. Like, where's the first dungeon? I haven't even like stumbled across that yet. Have you seen the first dungeon, Jacob?
No. Dum dum. It's unfortunate, but you gotta keep chatting with people. Henry, just be you and me in a bar and you slam down this game. Show me where to get all these dungeons at. Where are my little dungeon boys? Reveal them to me.
Well, at the top of this here waterfall, there's a sword.
Oh, nice.
And because we have 5 hearts. We got a stronger sword.
Nice.
Yeah. Tips and tricks. Did anyone subscribe to that?
Yeah.
I had an issue of Tips and Tricks that had a full rundown of Maximo, which is part of why I got into Maximo, because that issue also had a full rundown of Mega Man X6.
God, that's so cool.
They would just print full walkthroughs. I mean, they were condensed, of course, but they would come up with the graphics and just print them and all that, and just, yeah, what a time.
Dude, it was great. Print media, what a wonderful, wonderful time to be a part of something.
Yes, this is a good time to bring up, as we showed off at the beginning, Hundreds of Beavers and the Hobbit and the Nintendo Game & Watch. We're fans of physical media here, especially with the way the digital stuff's going right now. Who knows what's going to be licensed by whom, when, where, and for how much longer. If you like something, I'd say find a physical copy if you can.
Yep.
By any means you wish.
Yep.
We, again, have mentioned before that we are a parody, not in the sense that we're trying to absolve ourselves of being honest with y'all, but in that we are from a parallel dimension. And some of the artifacts we have with us are from that dimension, mementos and keepsakes.
Yep.
Also totems that hopefully keep the bigwigs away. I'm a little scared that since our channel's been growing, they're going to come creeping around.
They haven't really said too much yet, but there's definitely been a change in the air. Barney, obviously not here at the moment, but I think she had a meeting earlier. We'll see how that
she's
goes.
going to yell at us.
Yeah, she's not going to not yell at us, that's for sure.
I think as long as I beat Zelda, we'll be good.
Yeah.
Alright, so I have bombs, I have 5 hearts, I have the second sword, I have the big shield, I have a candle. I'm going to find a fairy, I'm going to heal up, and then I'll actually go into the first dungeon.
Yeah. Man, it's been really fun. Chat is really chatting about all of these old tips and tricks magazines, and what else do we have? Man, Game Pro hustled. I'm excited for the new version of Game Informer.
Yeah, for anybody who's been keeping tabs on Game Informer, how's the new stuff?
I haven't seen anything yet. I did sign up though, just because I wanted to see what they're going to be bringing to the table. So I like video games, they're fun.
Don't need any of those things.
Damn, Nintendo Power turned into a podcast, and even that didn't last. Oof. Yeah. Just trying to imagine a podcast talking about that kind of stuff. Can't really imagine the programming, but you know.
I mean, they have directs, but yeah, as far as weekly goes, I guess they could just be talking their games in detail.
For sure. Oh, Nintendo, you silly.
But I mean, there's just so many podcasts in the airwaves now. There's even us just, you know, streaming our stuff. We're just all in the broadcastosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, the next big purchase we want to make is going to be like the meat. Actually, no, I can get the meat right now.
Get that meat.
Yeah. Your wallet has a limit of like 256, and that's because of the actual like 8-bit storage limit. Data limitations of the system, yeah.
That's pretty great.
But if you notice with the bigger shield, I'm now blocking that Zora.
Yeah.
Except when I walk right into it, just like that.
You know, fair. You're just demonstrating the difference now. I can see that. I hear noises back over there. Oh Lord. Feel bad.
Got him. Get to the cave. Is the meat here or up above? No, the meat's up above. My only worry with the big shield is there's an enemy later down the line that can eat it. And then you just have the small shield again. And then you have to grind out money. Or just power through it. Alright, we're getting this meat. We're meat maxing. We're healthy. And it's for a puzzle way later, but I'd rather have it and not need it immediately than get to that moment and be like, oh yeah, we gotta run to the shop.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, much like any other RPG, You wanna do your world tour. You wanna.
Yeah, get a rough idea of what's going on, get a lay of the land, see what people are talking about.
There have been pieces of the map I haven't gone to, but
Yeah, you've done a decent job of bouncing around all over here.
buy medicine. Yeah, so now I can buy the health potion, although I'm just shy of it. But maybe these guys will have money. Yeah, they do. Thank you for the money.
Yeah, nice.
I just went outside, beat up a bunch of dudes in front of the shop, came back in.
Got my cash. Thank you.
That's heroic.
Yeah, that's how heroes work.
So yeah, it's even interesting how a classic like Lord of the Rings is still more about Bilbo going through it and not necessarily the trophy of a princess or a heroic sword adventure, but just maturing and realizing what to really value in life and not all that glitters is gold, you know? The stuff Led Zeppelin wrote about, man. But you know what? Let's not even use it as a credible source of justification for it, because, you know, some horrible, horrible stories about what Led Zeppelin did.
Yeah, that's right. Just
I mean, it was the 70s. Boomers were huge into just... It's amazing how moralizing people are now.
Yeah.
This is something that's interesting to me about just the revival of the Satanic Panic. It's coming back. I was already seeing Brett Cooper rambling about it on YouTube.
oh, it's so dumb.
1986, Dungeons & Dragons was the devil. You're playing as a magic fairy boy? What's wrong with you? That's scary. Bilbo, he's the key to all this.
Yeah.
Tell me more, Wizworld. I wish to hear.
Yeah, Wizworld, what are we talking? You can't just drop that there's horrible, horrible satanic groups to be worried about. What are we talking here? What are people doing?
Oh.
Oh, the kid who was like trying to fund an assassination attempt by killing his parents too. Oh yeah.
Oh, see? So...
You leave it to Nazis to be fucking idiots.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Where is this at? Like, what state is this in this world? That's fucking wild. Like, one member was a soldier who tried to convince ISL to attack his group to cause mass death in the background. That seems to be a really big occurring theme with, like, quote-unquote lone wolf shooters, is how much, like, Nazi stuff they got going on.
Why doesn't it ever get talked about, I wonder?
Yeah, it's so weird. Also joining forces and police killings. Yeah, the amount of like white supremacists and far right, neo-Nazis and things who join police forces and things is horrifying.
That's why they were started.
Yup.
Some of those were.
The point of the system is what it does. Like, don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, man, it's absolutely insane. Green room, but like everywhere is the neo-Nazi club. It's America. Like, fuck. This one's going to McDonald's.
East Mouse Peninsula is the secret.
This world, this is absolutely wild and definitely the kind of stuff I'm interested in deep diving into.
Yeah, she was, that's what I was talking about, is like, it was completely just influencer, like, seething as far as what Cooper was going after. But that brings up an interesting thing. I'm going to be talking about Hell's Angels by Hunter S. Thompson a lot while we're playing Jet Set Radio Future, which is the next game on the block. And what Wizworld's talking about and what Jacob's bringing up with the invisibility of all this, I think Hunter S. Thompson was tapping into in the 70s and recognizing the rising tide, as he calls it. the blind eye America turns to certain parties. This is also why we're going to be reading You Can't Win and talking about that while playing Jet Set Radio Future, or You Can't Win by Jack Black. Not Minecraft Jack Black.
Yeah.
This was the wandering gentleman, thief, and hooligan, early 1900s America. Wrote an autobiography about all his shenanigans.
FNL and the Campaign Trail is still the best political campaign analysis book of all time.
Yeah, and let's talk a bit about Hunter S. Thompson while we're here, because in talking about Link not having choices and Link just following orders and objectives, does Link ever get mad at anything? Does Link have feelings? I know, he has grunts and groans, but just the general suppression of male expression, not just Link, but many silent protagonist troped heroes, what that conveys to kids playing these games as far as what they're permitted to express. I think Hunter S. Thompson is a very passionate man, and I think Terry Gilliam did him a huge disservice with his adaptation of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. A lot of what Hunter S. Thompson is mad about is rooted in a sense of outrage or a sense of critique and criticism. And I think Terry Gilliam just took Fear and Loathing at a cynical face value, edgelord sort of, haha, drugs and snark. For the longest time, the Hunter S. Thompson dudes, like people who liked Fear and Loathing, were a bit of a red flag to me because it felt like such a shallow movie. As far as just being like, oh yeah, this guy goes and gets wasted for a weekend. And also Johnny Depp's just way too damn young to portray Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
But Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the book, he talks about, being on the search for the American dream in the desert. And what is the American dream? And the conclusion he kind of comes to there, which I don't think the movie really articulates or explores at all. I think Gilliam's too frustrated in trying to do his own edgy, absurdist, nothing matters, cynical kind of nihilism spin on a man who had very strong convictions and feelings. The movie just botches it, but the novel is about, consumption without consequence, doing whatever the hell, whenever the hell. The race he goes to cover has no mediating referee to keep order. It falls apart. It's insane. But by the end of it, everything just kind of moves on. No one's keeping score. There's no judge. There's no moral arbiter. The American dream is just like bye. And given the decade of Reaganomics that came after that, I think he was extremely on the money.
Yeah.
Yes, D. Hamill's Mammal, there's an order. There's basically a suggested order to the dungeons. I just went into the first one. You can kind of tackle them in any order you want. But you do need certain objects to access later areas in the game. They get harder as you progress, and you do kind of want to just do them in order. But so yeah, I did the first dungeon. There's not much more I can do as far as overworld farming for now, so I'm just kind of beelining to the second dungeon. There are 8 dungeons. Each dungeon gives you a piece of the Triforce. Once you have the full Triforce, you have to find Ganon, and then you'll have the power to fight him because you have the Triforce on your side.
Yep, just like we need. We gotta find our Triforce.
You need your totems of power, folks. You need your totems of power, and you need your swords of war.
Buy now, folks.
Buy now. Buy your totems of power.
Your Patriot totems. Made out of silver.
I actually went the wrong way. I should have took a left turn in Albuquerque.
Those little blue jumpy boys remind me of water spiders.
But yeah, so Hunter S. Thompson is this passionate, angry guy. He's not a cynic. He's not a nihilist. He's telling you what he believes, directly in his books. And I just don't know, Link and so many of the silent protagonist models of Sigma male masculinity, it's just do the job. They're an empty vessel. They are robbed of choice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael Burns. He released a video on Brian Johnson earlier today on YouTube talking about Brian Johnson's quest for immortality and like the fear of choice within that. And does that mean do you live if you make no choices? If you're just trying to automate all your processes and avoid death by doing the least amount possible and just letting your body automate everything? Like, what are you doing? Are you culminating experiences? Are you developing a persona? Are you cultivating soul?
Yeah, are you having like lived experiences shared with those you love? Or are you just being a fucking weirdo?
just monitoring your jack-off sessions with your son, you know?
Yeah, just absolutely just making sure everyone's cranking to what they need to be cranking it to.
Crank levels acceptable, unacceptable, a little checkbox. We got some counseling about your cranking, son.
Yeah, just everything about it. It's horrifying.
And so if you notice, I entered this dungeon with one extra key. I did a trick in the first dungeon to unlock one of the doors without a key. You can carry over keys between dungeons. Unlike later Zeldas where each dungeon's its own puzzle box, this Zelda, they're just kind of, they're mazes still, but they're not like themed and intricate in the same way that like you have your water dungeon, your forest dungeon, etc. And yeah, you can just carry things over with, you carry keys from dungeon to dungeon. You can kind of, you can optimize your path and get around doors that you don't need to unlock. I'm actually gonna do that a bit right now. It adds an element of flexibility and choice to this Zelda that other Zeldas with pretty graphics don't have. I do want to shout out to Link's Awakening, both being my first Zelda and also one of the most narratively sophisticated video games of all time. It's got a huge Twin Peaks influence. It is one of the Zeldas that's not just about slaying Ganon. Link is exploring an island that may or may not be real. It may or may not all be a dream. And within that, you explore why people have dreams and all that kind of fun stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Majora's Mask, also extremely good and not about the hero's quest. If anything, it's a rejection of that sort of egotistical, self-defining, the motif of the mask throughout being about how people choose to perform in public and use that to define themselves. Majora's Mask is also one of the greatest narratives in video games. But notice how those ones I'm describing don't have Ganon, don't have Zelda, don't have the Triforce. They're about something more personal or internal. If Link himself doesn't really have that defined through narrative, there are Zelda games that allow you to define him through action in really cool and meaningful ways, like Majora's Mask. The masks you wear and the order in which you run through the game, it's malleable. You can flex it. It's non-linear. It's kind of a personal pick your style thing, and it reflects the player in an individuated way that something like Twilight Princess doesn't, for example, because Twilight Princess is very on rails.
Pillar nugs, all the dungeons fit together like one big map, like a puzzle. Memory limitations were crazy back then. That's really cool.
That is cool. I already went this way. See, I can also look at my map, which I haven't been doing. As you can see, it is a crescent moon. I say they aren't themed like the more recent Zeldas, but there is still sort of a legible, individuated style in terms of, like, one looks like a falcon, one looks like a moon, one looks like a snake's head.
That's pretty cool. Love them details.
And I mean, this is just huge compared to Adventure. Adventure was what, like 12 screens total, maybe?
Yeah.
This is an overworld, an underworld, an inventory with discrete slots, an expanding health meter. There's just so many things that this game introduced and popularized.
Yeah.
Coming off of a lot of the score chasers, or even like platformers like Mario, this was, an actual pocket world.
I'm still impressed that the whole, like you said, all 3 games are on this guy.
Yeah, if you want to fire that up, we have the Nintendo Zelda Game & Watch right here, crew. It contains Zelda, Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening, all on a pocket-sized Game & Watch facsimile.
Yeah. It's like a Steam Deck specifically for Zelda.
But that Game & Watch, the body of that thing, the Game & Watch, that was a LCD system Nintendo would release little games on in the 80s.
This is so cool. Little timer.
Dodongo dislikes smoke. So as you can see, I've pretty much used bombs to walk around a lot of the locked doors in this dungeon. I'm going to be leaving this dungeon with a wealth of keys. If you... So this button here. Cool. Showing Jacob how to use the little Game & Watch. But look, Zelda on the tiniest screen possible.
It's literally the size of
Actually, first you put it up because I need to fade the screen in on that.
Oh.
Show him, yeah. So same game, small setup. And then we're gonna be out of focus the rest of the night.
Yep.
But don't worry, it'll be worth it.
It'll so be worth it. There's Henry. Mostly in focus. It's all good. You're gonna be looking at the game most of the time anyways. We're gonna be like an inch tall.
Yeah. All right, gang. Let's get this Dodongo who dislikes smoke. You may recognize him from Ocarina of Time. The second boss was King Dodongo. They've been around since the NES days. There is a nice consistency of lore as far as Zelda maintaining that throughout. It's just, you know, good principle, good practice. All right. Our health bar is looking beefy. We got the sword, we got these bombs, we got 2 Triforce pieces. I am feeling confident.
My God, man.
Something else I'd like to bring up about The Hobbit is Bilbo's hesitancy to kill. It's not really until he gets to the spiders that he has to wield the sword. It is not a defining necessity that he be in the Battle of 5 Armies. In fact, the Battle of 5 Armies is a tragedy that he does not participate in. It's off-screen for a reason. It's not romantic. It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's not the focus of the story. Which, speaking of The Hobbit and not the focus of The Hobbit, Peter Jackson, 3 movies. For those on the Discord, I may sometime soon screen my fan edit of Peter Jackson's The Hobbit trilogy. I have it spliced down into one 4-hour, 20-minute long thing. I did have some issues with the audio last export that I never resolved, but I am reinvigorated to look back into it. But if that is something that interests you, I did it. I was so annoyed. I did it. Jacob has seen this.
It's true.
We have other friends who could vouch for it.
It's pretty incredible.
But yeah, and it works. I think there is a movie you can see within that bloat. Here's the thing. Every now and then there's a really good, well-composed, well-considered master shot with a lot of practical staging and blocking and like actors actually interacting. And then there will just be 20 minutes of stuff that was clearly all made in post to fill runtime and lore obligations. There's, you know, all these filler scenes. When you start cutting those out, it becomes very dynamic. Thorin Oakenshield as a character, I feel, comes across really well when you're not constantly told his backstory and you just see the path he goes down throughout the movie. It's very fun stuff. Also, for those who've seen all 3 movies, I think The Desolation of Smaug is the most quote-unquote authentic. It has the least filler, I'd say. It feels the most intentional, or loaded with the most scenes that feel intentional. So it being right in the middle, it's like, okay, he did all this stuff first, and then they started padding out from there. No, I don't really keep the White Council stuff. I think I keep a little bit of it just so that we see Gandalf going away. But it's been a moment since I touched the edit at all. I don't remember everything I excised.
Man.
I did learn through a friend who watched it with me, though, that apparently, like, there's like a Thorin funeral scene that's not in the theatrical version, that's in the extended cut.
Really?
Yeah, there seems to be some stuff in that last one. I never saw the last one in theaters, so I don't know what the theatrical run looked like. I was just purely going off of the extended edition.
Man, I haven't seen the extended edition since I think they came out on DVD.
But yeah, I'll look into getting that going on the regular theater. We're gonna also watch the Count of Monte Cristo at some point, because as a classical revenge Batman story, the Count of Monte Cristo is kind of an inception point of this sort of neoliberal fantasy of the individual who can like overthrow the corrupt within the system and like be a good actor. And although even it has questions about transformative justice and like what he needs to do at the end to like, yeah. Is he still Edmond Dantes or is he just the Count of Monte Cristo?
That's a really good one.
I don't know if Luis Guzman's in it. It's a French production from what I understand. I'm keeping myself in the blind on it because I heard it was generally good and I'm a big fan of the story.
Love Luis Guzman.
And here are some dark nuts. Dark Knights. Dark nuts. A scarier enemy in this game because as you see, I can't hit them from the front. I have to hit them from the side. Which becomes very difficult if you're not at full health. But also, boom, got him to walk into it. Yeah. What do you mean I can't just... What do you mean I'm fundamentally changed by this huge amount of wealth and also repurposing myself as a pirate king and also getting my enemy's son to hate him?
There's a lot going on, a lot to go through.
I do find that an interesting aspect of the story that a lot of adaptations don't touch on, though, is the kind of the turning of the youth away from the old order because it is stagnant or corrupt or unjust. There's a lot of macro politics that get removed from that story because, I mean, it is a 1,500-page book, but also, like, for a movie, they focus on the individual, get the girl back kind of idea.
Yeah. Hollywood just really loves a love story regardless of whether it's needed.
Which is a funny part on why Link never grows up as well, is like, until the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild duration, I mean, the implication is that Zelda's a trophy, but it's never like an explicit, real maturation thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. Just perpetual errand boy.
Gotta do your errands, okay? It's a gig economy, and Link really needs to keep going through it too.
There's not... The economy is potions and paper notes.
Yep. It's like real life, man. Just emails, you know?
Oh man, yeah.
Like,
I never thought about it that way, but wow.
Wow, jeez.
Okay, somebody dropped a watch.
Pick up that Rolex, quick, steal it.
And I'm just rolling with bombs, okay. But also a raft. And what the raft does is it lets us cross certain bodies of water if there is a dock.
Alright. We like that.
We do like docking. We love our docking, don't we, folks?
Oh no! I'm just so surprised that this game can be played on such a small device.
I mean, we were playing Adventure off an internet browser last time.
Right?
The march of time and technology.
The things you can do with teaching rocks to do math will never cease to amaze me.
And I don't need to use a key on that door. Sadly, folks, I have some bad news about the shape of this map. It'll become apparent once we find the map itself and it pops up on the screen. Chat, you want to guess what the theme of this level is?
Whisper's just...
I'll tell you what, it's not the actual symbol, but it's a symbol that is often and easily misconstrued for another bad symbol because it gets tilted 45 degrees.
Ah!
Yeah. Jacob, would you like to guess? I have the map right here.
The Buddhist, the peace temple, the peace sign?
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Ooh! Wow!
The Magi. Reincarnation.
You know what? I love this. If you love The Legend of Zelda, you're a Nazi.
No, it's...
Oh, you're peaceful. Never mind.
It is the right angle, and I do like noting that.
Oh, absolutely. I remember
There's a
going
bit too much hysteria over stuff like that.
In New Orleans, in the main opera house downtown, I noticed that there were a bunch of peace symbols on the floor, but I was confused because I was not aware of the big difference in. But like, the floor had been installed in the 1920s, I believe? So got a very quick Hitler birthday, sorry. Got a really quick history lesson on the differences between those two. But also, I didn't realize how prevalent it was around America before that too. Because like we do talk about the differences between the two symbols, but like it's been around America too for a long while. The peace version, anyways.
I mean, it is a Buddhist symbol. It's pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
And the Germans were stealing it.
That's true. Like fascists like to do, co-op stuff, take it.
The good luck coin trend in the 1930s, what's that?
Oh yeah, was that the one that was started by like a, not Navajo tribe, I forget what tribe. Companies making janky little coins that they crammed.
That reminds me of like
onto
Benny's
them.
necklaces from The Mummy.
Yeah, yes, exactly kind of thing. Yeah, that makes sense. I do remember that there was a Native American group that made a lot of money off of those particular things. The good lucks?
Because of certain events.
Yeah.
No, we don't acknowledge historical things happen.
Yeah. No, we can't do that.
Oh, I hear Barnabas.
Barney. Do you want to go outside? All right. I'm gonna take this dog outside real quick.
Chat, the animal demands it.
Yep. She's getting racy. She's getting racy.
I did not realize how much money I was rolling in chat, but we are profit maxing through Buddhism right now. We are Zen. We aren't even looking at our wallet. We're just indiscriminately slaying and praying. That is as is meant to be. Go with God. Do not think, just do. Oh, Morgoth mentioned, that distracted me. Oh, and we have a moth in the room now. Bug Buddy has joined the chat. I'm just running to the fairy fountain really quick, and then we're gonna clear the 3rd level. If you notice, we have 7 keys now because we've been selectively working around doors with bombs. Again, there's a range of latitude where you can just skip certain things instead of, say, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, although I love Wind Waker. Those Aonuma heavy games with the super puzzle box design where every puzzle is a one-to-one square hole. There's one way to solve it. You are heavily railed into doing the puzzle box in an elaborate way where you're just wondering, like, where's my choice in this? Where's my element of control? Am I being a hero right now? That's probably why Skyward Sword caused such a reboot. Just figuring that out. Breath of the Wild was a reintroduction of choice into the mechanics. I don't think it quite nails it, but I think Tears of the Kingdom really wrangled all those elements into something nice.
Oh man, next, similar to the forces of Morgoth, fascists can create nothing of their own, only corrupt and turn things into their own purposes. Yep,
yeah,
every time.
Something Tolkien talks about in Lord of the Rings is orc talk, and how orc talk is hollow and insubstantial and petty, and they're not really saying anything when they're saying things. It's all just...
fill in the air.
Yeah. I think about that every day I hear Carolyn Leavitt talk. I think of it every day I stumble upon a reactionary podcast that's just trying to be punk rock while reaffirming the status quo. It's all just signifier with no quality in the signal. Tolkien was on the money with that one, and I think that is a metaphor that should be applied more often, more so than the be a hero, get a sword, slay the bad guys thing. Like, understand the actual idea, not just the plot. Yeah, just jabbering puppets. Yep. That's something too. In the book, they really stress in Lord of the Rings how much Sauron is a structural presence. It's not just like Sauron the Dark Lord, it is Sauron's enterprise, Sauron's corporation. There's just so many tilting things that are corrupting this race that was made for him, and you know, in their way, they are victims of this structure as well. We talked about J.R.R. Martin before, and there's always that meme where people try to think. Tolkien's put in the Chad side where he's a traditionalist with simple good and evil lessons, and Gurm is put in the Wojak side where he's too morally complicated and gray and doesn't stand for anything. But Tolkien still has a lot of nuance to how he's portraying the races that work for Sauron. Dang. You know what? The fairy fountain's right there, the potion's right there. Let's revive. Maybe lock into this dungeon. Although now I want to just talk more about Lord of the Rings. As you do when you play Zelda.
It's hard not to. Very easy for the topic to come up, certainly.
Tolkien also wrote in a letter to his son that he enjoyed when laborers were throwing pipe bombs at factories in protest.
That's tight.
He seems to be a fan of the concept of good trouble, you know?
We'd like to see that kind of work.
Oh, thank you, Wizworld. I will check that out. Boromir and our relapse into fascism.
Have you seen that? The new Lord of the Rings animation thing?
War of the Rohirrim? No, I've not, but I heard, I mean, there seemed to be general excitement around it, and it looks good. I've been meaning to pick it up. I do have a copy lying around for us to watch. If
oh, heck yeah.
I want to throw that on sometime.
We should definitely do that sometime.
Oh, Jacob, have you picked up? Are you playing Zelda?
I am. It's been really fun trying to emulate everything that's going on.
How's it compare to Adventure?
You know, I definitely appreciate that I can more clearly tell things that are happening. The colors and the animation really add a lot, which is very funny because like it's very little animations added, but they really do make a huge difference.
Yeah, in Adventure, the bat's so distinct because it's one of the few animated sprites, and it's got those flapping wings, and you just know it's gonna steal your stuff.
Yeah. You know, bats, they come and fly around you, they get in your shit. I'm like, okay, I can understand where we're coming from.
And, you know, when playing Capcom games, I'll be glazing them about their legibility. But Nintendo, Nintendo's always been very sharp about their direction too. Like, these sprites are very legible, even with how rough they are. Zelda 2 is a pretty looking game.
Yeah, Barney. There you go. Rest your weary little head. Barney hates the camera lights, but she loves hanging out with us, so it's very much a mixed situation.
All right, let's go again.
Hit it. It's horrifying.
Yep, giant plant. You may recognize this. There's a versions of this guy in later Zeldas, always.
I was gonna say it definitely gives off the later vibes.
Boom. I'm thinking of like the plant bosses in both. Well, the plant boss in Wind Waker and the jellyfish boss in Jabba Jabba's Belly in Ocarina of Time. The general kind of like multi-headed jellyfish or plant. All right, we're on our second row of hearts, gang, and we've only done 3 of the 8 dungeons, but we're also rolling in cash. I'm actually gonna check the price of something really quick.
Yeah, go shopping. Get something nice for yourself.
I am.
You know? Buy yourself something great. Tolkien thinks that Empire's bad and so is colonialism?
Yeah.
No, he loves it. Like,
Industrialism is a theme in Lord of the Rings? What?
that's so confusing. I feel like they would not want that. I feel like they love colonialism.
Again, Battle of 5 Armies in The Hobbit is not something Bilbo participates in or is like seen as necessary. If anything, it's what finally snaps Thorin into realizing he's gone too far and agitated too many parties with his personal vendetta. Oh, interesting. How much of that's covered in like the Silmarillion? Because I honestly have not read the Silmarillion. I've had friends who've read it. I listened a lot to Blind Guardian's Nightfall Middle-earth as a teenager. There's some general plot things I know that happen in it, but as what you're bringing up, the colonialism stuff in Numenor, how much is that within the works? Okay. 250, I need 10 more.
You can do it.
Yeah, we can do this. Let's see if these guys, can you drop some money for me? Excuse me, do you have money you can drop? It's the first generation of, hey, do you have pots I could break?
Yeah, let me break your pots, homie.
There's no houses to run into, but if you have pots, do you have money I can take, sir?
I need to break your clay pots.
Why do Octoroks have rupees anyways? Is it their guts? Is it some sort of kidney stone-esque situation?
Whew. Lord, I hope not.
Uh-oh, Alright, yeah. Not sure what that was.
Dang, this Rings of Power. They totally allude to the colonial outpost and they devastated the forest to build it. Interesting. I haven't really watched Rings of Power at all.
Yeah, I only know people that have not good things to say about it.
Yeah.
They are dragging themselves through it, though.
The Elven Dwarf story sounds really good.
Copy that. I have been meaning to check out more genre streaming stuff because I'm fresh off of like both Gemstones. Well, Gemstones is still going, but like White Lotus, Rehearsal's going. I'm not too excited about The Last of Us, but like right now there's like a few. It's a choose your own adventure. There's a few things I'm curious about, but they're all sort of middling genre things. I'm more curious about for metatextual reasons than like actual interest. Daredevil. Andor. I'm legit interested in Andor. I'll say
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I've been like Rings of Power. I want to see at least one episode because I'm curious how much of the style. Oh yeah, so I finished the third dungeon. Sorry, I'm managing my inventory mentally while also taking inventory of literally like inventory as far as like entertainments I want to watch. Ooh.
And Wizworld, do you watch Dark Winds? No. What is Dark Winds? And where's it streaming, and where can I watch it?
I think people know where Andor is.
I've got no idea. I love Andor because it was the first thing in Star Wars that was just nowhere near Luke Skywalker and them for an entire season. It was great.
Yes, I like Andor because there's no Jedi and it does tension well, and it's the first time in a long time Star Wars has like actually had tension and like a sense of haptic
Yeah. It felt.
consequence.
Yeah. Like, we know the Empire is evil and killing us, but it's like, show me like the day-to-day life of someone who actually is trying to fight with the actual day-to-day shit.
Dark Winds, that sounds awesome.
Wait.
Don't be jumping off, you fool.
All right, we have the 255. We are going to get the blue ring. What does the blue ring do? It raises our defense. Any money I collect right now is pointless because I'm at the top of the wallet limit.
Makes sense. Also, that's crazy. So, Dark Winds is an adaptation of a novel series about two Navajo tribal police officers in the 70s. Sold. That sounds great. Zom McLaren is the lead. Produced by J.R.R. Martin and Robert Redford. There's a magical realism, but it's a good mystery show plus commentary on native life in relation to American business and law enforcement.
Cool.
Dang, it's on season 3 too, so there's plenty to watch. Definitely interested. Where can we stream that again? Because that's definitely...
That sells me more than like it just started.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love when there's backlog.
Same. There's so many things to watch. I genuinely need to have a physical list of things I want to watch when I have time.
That is techno-poverty.
Yeah, truly.
All right, we're gonna go grab another heart now because we got the raft, and the raft allows us to sail across water, again from certain docks. Patent pending.
Bad bit. It's wild to think of how many people have a love, beyond the love for Zelda.
Yeah.
Specific, like, it's... Because again, I knew a lot of people who loved them, played them. I never played them a lot myself. But through osmosis, understood a lot of what was going on. Just like... It's interesting visiting it at 36. Oh, AMC, excellent. Godfather of Harlem came back, another show with Forrest Whitaker and Bumpy Johnson. Opposite D'Onofrio and Shin Gigante. Man.
I also know I went to see Sinners.
Yeah, Sinners has been getting a lot of really good stuff. And that director just got brought in on X-Files as well, which I'm real excited for.
Ryan Coogler's on the new X-Files.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And like that is a great decision that people are making.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler's great. Fruitvale Station, Creed.
Yep. Ah, Creed was great. Very anime. I'm just thinking of the anime fighting scene.
Well, Creed 3 especially, but like that's also not Coogler. That's Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yes, yeah.
But Michael B. Jordan like knows how to make live action anime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a real fun moment.
True. I was gonna bring up Coogler doing Black Panther, probably the last MCU movie with a sense of energy, but also it is CIA apologia.
Oh really?
Well, yeah, the whole Martin Short character, or not Martin Short, Bilbo Baggins, Bilbo Baggins,
King of the Wild Frontier.
Martin Short in Black Panther.
Coming in as Jiminy Glick.
Well, that's
Dude, yes. We do need Martin Short and more black comedies. I think it'd be fantastic and a lot of good stuff. These things.
P hats, PPP hats. There's a very weird Zelda commercial you can find on YouTube where some dude's just like yelling "Where's Zelda" and just saying all the enemy names in weird tones. Kind of I don't know what they were thinking for it, but like, yeah, interesting commercial approach to selling video games in the 80s.
They're just throwing everything at the wall.
There's another one where they have two white kids playing and they start rapping about how The Legend of Zelda is really bad. Bad in a good way.
That's what me and my friends would do. Me and my white buddies. Rap, tap, tapping away. Cool like that.
Alright, time to get that fourth dungeon piece. This is where there's sort of an escalation in complexity of the labyrinths. But luckily, now that I have the blue ring, I take less damage. My defense is doubled. Dare I use a key on that door? I don't know. I don't remember what the shape of this dungeon is. It might be the... No, it's not the lion's head. That's later. Dude, trust us.
Dude, you are getting it done.
Alright, so these dark rooms you need to light with a candle. One of the many uses of the candle, besides burning down trees. A lot of red bats. A great way to use the same assets, just slightly recolored. But also, it is a neat enemy varietal. Just seeing it pop a big demon that pops into smaller bats when you bust it.
That is a fun, like...
There's a Disney-esque quality to how animated each of these enemy sprites is. Again, just giving you a sense of like a further, deeper fantasy bestiary. Just gonna go through this door, get away from the sparkling menace.
Yeah, sometimes running away is the answer.
A lot of the times, yeah, you're not gonna be able to beat a gorilla in a hand fight. Don't tackle that mountain lion.
I can fight a gorilla.
Do not pet that tiger. We were not made for that kind of combat.
Yeah, man.
And here's the dreaded like, which can eat your shield if you're not careful. Like, just happened. Alrighty. Good to know.
Well.
Hungry monster. Well, now that it happened, I'm not scared of it happening anymore.
Yeah, it's all gone.
It's all good. I just walked right into that boy.
Nice.
And hardcore Zelda fans will recognize the like. It's in like every game. I don't think it's in Zelda 2.
Hell yeah, you got a ladder, bro?
Yeah, so the ladder lets you bridge gaps. It's kind of like the bridge in Adventure, honestly.
Okay.
So remember how in Adventure you got the bridge and it let you go through walls?
Mm-hmm.
This lets you just, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty useful because they also don't walk on those areas, so you can like, well, the
Gotcha,
bats
kinda
fly
like
everywhere,
yourself.
but yeah.
That's so
There is one more heart container in the overworld that I can now grab because I have
the ladder.
the ladder.
Hell yeah.
And I just wasted that key. It's okay, I still have 6 extra. I have an excessive amount of keys from earlier dungeon maxing, and in the 7th dungeon, there's a master key. So eventually you just get infinite keys. Now that I have the ladder, I can cross this ford, I can ford this river. Let's go get the actual map from over here. And so I find it interesting you get maps for the actual dungeons, but not the overworld. And I believe that, does just encourage drawing your own overworld or generally remembering like vague spots in the overworld.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm very interested in how they came up with a lot of design for this game, because like it's really well thought out. And it's been copied, 1,000 times over.
Right, Adventure is very much a blueprint, but this really solidified a formula.
Yeah.
And is like, Mario, I've played Super Mario Bros. Coin Ops at grocery stores and stuff, and while the joystick in the arcade cabinet experience is, it doesn't translate. Like, I think I don't even like playing Super Mario Bros. Emulated. I prefer the actual NES or Nintendo controller, because something about the momentum of Mario doesn't feel right when it's not on that.
Yeah.
But this truly was, so you could still play Mario in the arcade at times. They were putting Super Mario Bros. In coin ops. But this really was an early, oh, this is an only at home experience. This was the first NES game, I think, to have a battery in it so that you could save your progress.
Dang. Yeah, they meant business.
Yeah, quite a step up in gaming. And here we have a Gliok, which they bring back in Tears of the Kingdom as an overworld enemy that I really enjoy. They have the elemental Glioks in that game. And I'm doing bad, so I'm just gonna strike and see what I can do. There we go.
Nice. Get that. Word.
We got the Triforce. We are collecting objects of power.
Now we're playing with power.
Now I have your power.
With great power comes great responsibility, but with mediocre power comes mediocre responsibility. So, kind of skills, which is nice.
That responsibility. The game wants... The game has faith that you're going to carry out the quest. I always find that fun with video games. Quote-unquote hard ones, easy ones. I question the amount of absorption like video game narratives have among the general population. Like when people are buying Grand Theft Auto 5, how many people are completing the story? Same with like the Red Deads. Even with the original Legend of Zelda, you know, it is a esoteric mess of symbols that you have to learn how to navigate. You have to at least die a lot in the overworld to figure out where things are when you're first playing it. It can be very harsh and unforgiving. And so the way games incentivize sticking with it, or what people are able to tolerate, is always interesting to me.
Yeah, where does fun become boredom or just dismay? Yeah, same 3256. The more open world the game, the less likely I am to complete the main story.
Have you beaten Red Dead Redemption 2? You may be able to claim financial compensation.
That's true. Yeah, that was great. Whenever I first got COVID, that's what I did for 2 weeks. Was just finally beat Red Dead Redemption 2. Still haven't beat Grand Theft Auto 5. Have it on several different systems. Haven't beat a single version of it. But God, is it fun on all of them. Yeah.
I'm curious about Grand Theft Hamlet, and I just remembered that is a thing.
Oh yeah, what about Mubi? Show me what you got, Mubi.
Mubi is distributing a machinima called Grand Theft Hamlet about a group of people recreating Hamlet in Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah, looks to be amazing.
All right, we got it. We got the heart pieces. I have 12 hearts. I think that makes me Master Sword eligible. Let's take a gander. We're going to get the strongest sword in the game, is what we're going to do.
Hell yeah.
Or we're going to go to where it is, and hopefully we can get it. It has the way it works is you need X amount of hearts. Like your health meter needs to be a certain level for the sword to come out of the stone.
Okay. So you gotta keep 100.
This is something they reference in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. When you find the Master Sword, you have to pull it from a pedestal, and you have to hold on for a while. And as you hold on, it's draining your health. So you need to have X amount of health to actually draw the sword. I think that's a cool interpretation of the NES mechanic.
Yeah. It was funny too, as we've been listening to this music, this theme is definitely one of the first things I learned to play on guitar when I was first learning. So even though it wasn't really playing the game, it was still very iconic and still very much a part of my life in many ways.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time has so many pieces of music that...
Yes.
Something the Hundreds of Beavers does interesting is there's a shop with music very similar to the Ocarina of Time music shop, or shop music. Which also has our protagonist interacting with a menu to order items in a manner that's very visually reminiscent of Zelda. Or video game shops in general.
Yeah.
Oh man, centaurs.
That's crazy.
Ghosts?
Ghosts in a cemetery?
Alright, let's see. Have I earned it? I have. Cool.
Nice.
Alright, we are 4 dungeons in. We have half the Triforce. We have all the sword upgrades. We're ready for level 5.
Ready to F him in the A. Yeah, chiptune is a whole genre of music now too. Yeah, it is.
It's interesting how the Sega Genesis has been used by musicians. Like, yeah, consoles get used by musicians because, like, the way these chiptunes and the hardware they were using, some of it you can't find now. I don't know why I'm fighting these statues with such fervor.
I love it. I like that you only left one of them
Yeah,
to tell the story
I
to
was
the
like,
rest of them.
it's senseless violence. What am I doing here?
Yeah, and he's just there to watch his friends in horror.
There is a power bracelet around here, I think, and that allows me to open up a transportation system. It's under one of these guys. There it is. Oh, hey,
Goes to
okay.
sleep.
Found that faster than I thought I was. All right, gang, we're gonna find a fairy fountain. We're gonna heal up. We're gonna buy more red potion, and then we're gonna do the 5th dungeon. For those just tuning in, we are TechnoPoverty playing The Legend of Zelda for the NES.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Mondays and Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, we'll be here, plugging away, having a great time, and you should join us, because it's always a fun time.
We love plugging, don't we, folks?
Don't we love our plugs, folks? They're wonderful.
They are.
We'll tell you where the slop is and when to get it. Get your bucket. These little guys. This whole overworld.
I need to purchase a big shield again, but I don't have enough money yet for that. I really don't need it till the 6th dungeon when we have to deal with the Wizrobes. Who, in this one they look fine, but in Zelda 2 they straight up just look like clan members. They have white hoods with pointed hats.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, we got the red potion.
Got that money.
Dungeon 5 is in the northeast, so it's just like New England.
Nice, nice.
The New England of Hyrule.
Yeah.
I would like to note that when you do look at this overworld map, the edges, I mean, they just, you know, they're the edges of the screen as it is now. You'll see just like the green hard forest. In Zelda 2, there's a very small corner of the map that, for the sake of scale, is supposed to be the entire area of Zelda 1. So in the same way that like Lord of the Rings is only taking place in a part of the world, or The Hobbit's only taking place in a part of the world, it is interesting that you're not roaming the entirety of Hyrule here, just a small section of it. Alright, you know what? I'm not going to worry about the shield because I have the blue ring defending me. Let's see, we'll probably have some money by the time we finish this next dungeon, and then we'll have 3 left.
Nice.
I'm kind of curious how far we're going to get on one night here because we already have more than half of the Triforce.
Let's just say it's going pretty good pace.
Yeah, there's 8 dungeons. I've died a few more times than I'm used to, but also this is the earliest I think I've ever gotten the blue ring in a run. Individuated playthroughs. Again, if we were even playing something like Link's Awakening, there'd be a much more direct A to B to X than Y than Z. There's been a lot of open-ended running around, getting back to choice, and this game gives you multiple like places you can run around to. There's like the illusion of objectives and self-direction in a way that something like Link to the Past does not. I know Link to the Past is beloved for starting a lot of the standard formulas and stuff that like would get copied in concurrent games or subsequent games. I think A Link to the Past is a step in the wrong direction as far as the way it prioritizes its objectives and just throws up points on a map for the player to go after. There's no sense of getting lost in the world. Also, the world in general in that game is kind of the least curious Hyrule. It's very open in ways that you just kind of walk around and walk to. There's not like not a sense of like licking corners to find items to unlock something expansive, or that there's a mystery in the mountains, because everything's kind of plainly visible from the get-go. you can 100% A Link to the Past fairly easily, not because because it's a very legible square block, square puzzle, one-to-one, everything has a place kind of game. Like, you can see that there's a bombable wall. It's very direct. Whereas in this game, the bombable walls, you have to kind of explore each. You have to explore each screen and kind of like, maybe you can bomb something, maybe you can burn it. In A Link to the Past onwards, it's like, hey, this tile explicitly is meant to be burned. This red area here is explicitly meant for a red key card. It starts constraining your sense of choice by being about, here's the square hole, go find the square peg. Here's the circle hole, go find the circle peg. You need the star key for the star door. Everything stops having multiple solutions or approaches. It becomes very boring. And at that point, it doesn't feel like you're playing a legend. It feels like you're just doing chores.
Yep. And you don't want that.
And The Legend of Zelda stops feeling legendary. Shout out to shout out to Majora's Mask for being, in 3D and allowing a bit more of a flexible approach to the objectives, and also just like through choosing masks, it's making comment on identity in a way that Zelda is usually not quite going for as far as the semiotic sophistication. On the whole never growing up maturity thing too, Wind Waker is a notable entry in the series for being about an adult recognizing how they're impeding a child's future. And I think that game is trying to wrestle with this idea of Link never growing up, or Link only ever doing chores for his superiors. You can just walk between times. Interesting.
Yeah. These Triceratops.
The Dodongos.
The Dodongos.
They dislike smoke.
Okay.
So I just haven't gone over to that appendage side. It's some sort of head?
Oh, gotcha, yeah, like an open mouth with the eye. I see what you're saying.
Oh, I don't have bombs. I need bombs. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
Rats.
Whoa, whoa. Oops.
You don't like them sounds.
You don't want to do those sounds.
Yeah.
My lack of bombs is throwing off my rhythm. It's darkness. Yeah. They are easier to approach from the side.
Just utter chaos in this room.
So, this game came out for the Famicom Disk System in Japan and was on a floppy disk, not a cartridge. And one of the things you can do with the Famicom Disk System is it has a microphone accessory. And so there is a hint in the manual that the poles, the rabbits, are sensitive to sound. And if you have the microphone plugged in, you can make noise and it blows them up.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, Nintendo, even back in the day, like trying to integrate those accessories. I mean, they had Rob. They've always been, when they made the Wii with the motion controls, it was in the vein of like, a certain corporate ethos to try novel things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you mentioned Duck Hunt earlier. Everybody with the NES came around, you know, you get that pack in Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt with it.
Yep. LiDAR gun, or not LiDAR, whatever, but like little laser gun. So much fun.
Yeah, it's slipping my mind right now. I forget the exact term for those guns.
Yeah.
But you can't use them on like HD TVs, like
Yeah, it has to be a CRT.
because of the way the light reflection works on the tube. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so cool.
Oh, I just got bombs off that mummy, eh? The Gibdos. All of these little simple but cute characters would recur and become just regular staples in all Zeldas. It's neat to see the inception point, and here we go. Oh, dang, that's a lot of dark nuts. The zapper, light guns.
Yeah, little zappers. It's like super cool.
Dreamcast.
Yep.
House of the Dead 2.
Man, I did have a buddy of mine let me borrow his Time Crisis 2 on PlayStation that had a gun. God, I love Time Crisis. Killer bats. These ones aren't trying to steal your stuff, they're just doing their own thing.
They're just cool, yeah. So I think if I go this way... There's a lot of dark nuts, but also, I believe...
Hell yeah, 325's playing House of the Dead 2 with Dreamcast light guns countless times. That'd be great. Oh yeah, the Typing of the Dead? I played that once or twice.
They had it at Pinball's Arcade in Austin.
Yeah.
And we got a flute. We have a flute, folks.
Oh.
We love our flutes. Flutes and lutes.
There we go.
The fantasy instruments.
Show us your flutes.
You know what? I'm key rich. I'm gonna gamble. I'm not sure if I need this door or not. Well, it paid itself off.
No, there you go.
Oh, can I go into the eye of the creature by chance? No. What about over here? Yep. Okay.
Hey, nice.
Hey. I would. Dang. Okay,
Damn.
noted.
All right.
I'll come back to that. Maybe.
Yeah. Was it $100 for a bunch of bombs?
Yeah. Because you want to be able to carry a lot of bombs to find secret walls like what I was doing there.
Yeah, for sure.
See how the bomb's kind of like a navigational tool on top of an offensive weapon?
Yeah. Like, I actually really
And again,
like
later Zeldas, you'd have a little cracked wall telling you like, bomb here, whereas it's kind of like a trick to shortcut stuff here,
that. Yeah.
if you happen to know where to go.
Man. Oh, interesting. They released House of the Dead 2 on PS5 with gyro aim? That seems... I mean, I'd give it a shot. I really want a VR House of the Dead. And Time Crisis. There's a couple games that are similar to it, but I would like actual licensed stuff from them, because they're such fun games.
Yeah, there's like some Time Crisis clones in VR that have been pretty fun.
Yeah. Super entertaining, but man.
Although I think VR kind of, a lot of first-person stuff is super easy in VR.
Yeah.
I think they have to reapproach how obstacles come at you in the genre in VR, because it seems like a different degree of control than a still CRT frame.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like my aim in Resident Evil 4 flat screen versus VR is very different.
Reloading.
Should have grabbed those bombs. What's the situation? Okay. Now that I have the Master Sword, the lowest level of Dark Knight goes down in one hit, and that is a huge relief.
I'm gonna say that seems very nice. Yeah, take that. Kill these
Mummies.
Yetis in.
They're mummies alive.
I like to think that they're Yetis in pajamas. These little whisker fellows.
The Pole's voice. What an interesting name.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're called that.
I wonder. Yeah, how did we get to that?
There's a monster in this room. Yep.
Nope, don't like that.
See how you can just kind of run away too?
Yeah, I like that.
It's not like there's, later dungeons, later Zeldas, the dungeons would be something to the degree of like, you have to find the small keys, you have to find the boss key, you have to get the theme item, you have to use the theme item to do the theme puzzle.
Yep.
This is still very much a dungeon crawl. It's an endurance test of getting down in that cave and seeing how dirty you can get.
Yeah.
You're going to be bombing walls and endurance tested. Very, very Souls-like, more so than any kind of contraption puzzle box thing that would come to characterize Zelda down the line. And then because I have the Master Sword, it goes down pretty easy.
Nice.
And that's level 5.
Oh. Take a level 5.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Love that cave's mouth.
Oh no, the illusion.
No.
But yeah, that's a trick. Kind
That's
of
pretty good.
mountains of mystery. You'll get lost if you don't know where you're going thing.
Gotcha.
But we do need to return to that dungeon and with 100 rupees because I want more bombs.
Yeah, that was a very nice thing to do.
I'm trying to think of what all I want to collect as far as like I have the meat. What do I need to spend money on? I need the big shield, especially for the next dungeon. I'm kind of scared of doing it without the big shield because there's wizard enemies who shoot projectiles that the big shield blocks that the little shield doesn't. Does a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely gonna want a big shield on that bad boy.
Cool. Money. Big shield is 90. Did I spend? Yeah, I used my potion once already. Okay. Either way, I can head over to level 6. Actually, you know what? Let's just do the level. I can see if I get money by the end of it. Or I'll get totally washed, we'll see. there was an invisible integer of damage that needed to be healed. Because I have the blue ring on, enemies that do half a heart will actually only do a quarter of a heart, and you can't see that quarter of a heart when it's done to you. But also, it doesn't count towards losing health, and you can still do the full-on sword beam. Yeah. Later Zeldas would have a quarter hearts, right? And now we must navigate the Lost Woods. Something that is a feature of pretty much every Zelda. There's some sort of Lost Woods maze.
Yeah. Some forest we gotta go roam around in.
If not an actual maze, it'll be named like the Mysterious Woods.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about finding the right path through, which we just did. And we are back around at the graveyard. Yeah, see, I can't block these at all with the small shield, so I do really want that big shield back.
And where's the big shield at?
There's various shops that have it for various prices. The cheapest is 90, so I'm almost there, but I also want that 100 to get those bombs. I don't know, I'm feeling conflicted, but also I was like, I'm not going to do this level without the shield. I'm just going to try doing the level without the shield.
Oh yeah, you're gonna try giving it a shot.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, that's true.
I do have bow and arrow, I do have bombs. What is the worst that can happen? All right, we're on level 6 of 8. It is currently 9:38, chat. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll be back to finish out this dungeon, and we'll see how much Zelda's left. This may turn into a 2-session night.
Not the worst. We like our Zelda.
No, we do love our mysterious green-dressed boys running around in the woods, and we do love fighting evil as said boys.
Yeah.
Even if we have questions about this boy being on autopilot and why he's fighting evil, and you know, the lack of a self-fulfillment or introspection within the silent protagonist Sigma male mindset that Zelda and the like popularized and perpetuated, we still love the game. We're not trying to rag on it when we're critical of it. I know I'm a bit harsh on A Link to the Past, but I mean, it's still an excellent piece of logic puzzle to give a 12-year-old. All the Zelda games are in that sense.
Yeah.
This is a bit esoteric, and you do have to know where things are on the map. And I mean, you know, later games would add quality of life stuff to highlight and point out where to go. I think Zelda as a franchise is so popular because it's so good at that. It's the right level of asking from the player while giving them rewards that feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyways, I need to stand up and stretch. You probably need to stand up and stretch. Get refreshed, get a drink, smoke them if you got them. We'll be back in a bit.